Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Victoria and I'm a mess. Today's video is going to be a story time about something that I knew I would eventually put out on my channel and tell you guys about, but it's always just been something that is super personal to me and was honestly in the top 3 most traumatizing events of my life. With that being said, it is hard to talk about things that seem unfair or that hurt you or impacted your life in such a profound way. Before we get into the video, if you guys don't know who I am, I'm Victoria. Hi, I make videos on YouTube. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. I will be making a ton of videos for November, so be sure to stick around for that. You don't want to miss it. I'm also on other social media platforms, Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those are in the description below if you'd like to follow me on there. In the description, I also have some cool links for you guys. I have an Uber promo code down there. If you need to take an Uber one night, got a little too drunk, did a little too much heroin, and you don't feel like driving, use my Uber code, free ride for new members. And if you would like to donate to my facial feminization fundraiser, my link to the GoFundMe is in the description as well. We're halfway to our goal. We already passed $1,000, and I can't thank you guys enough. That means so much to me, but that's a whole nother video. That's not what we're here to talk about. Also, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I started working out again this week, really hard, every day, and I just feel like I have this inner glow like coming out of my skin. It's so strange. I don't have any highlighter on or anything. This is just like my normal makeup routine, but I feel like working out really just brings out that glow. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoy that. Let's get into the story. So this story takes place when I was 17 years old. I had just started my transition. I had just started taking hormones. I don't even think I was on estrogen at this time. I think I was just taking my testosterone blockers. Still presented as male though, didn't pass for female. I would go out in public and still dress like kind of androgynous, I guess you could say. This was a very strange part of my life. I was coming into my true self. I didn't really know who I was, what I wanted, the kind of people that I wanted to surround myself with. Also, another side note, I did my senior year of high school online. So I went to public school up until 11th grade. And then towards the second semester, like the end of the second semester of 11th grade, I switched to online school. So I basically wrapped up 11th grade online school and then did my whole senior year online school. And the way that it worked, you basically had all of your curriculum like on the computer, but you could do it at your own pace. You had a minimum of like assignments and tests that you had to take every week, but you could just do the minimum and just write it out, or you could literally like graduate high school in like a fucking week, if I'm sure, if you just sat at your computer. So being myself and being a depressive procrastinator, I went at a pretty slow pace, which allowed me to have a lot of free time. At this time, I was working at my first job ever, the job that I got fired for being transgender. I made a whole video on that. I'll put that in the description. But I was hanging around with this new crowd of people. They were so cool. They all, smoked weed, drank, partied, and I kind of just got into that world and used it as like an escape. I'm 17 years old. I have a shit ton of free time. I hate myself, so why not get fucked up? Of course, that is not the best solution. It's a fun solution, but not the most productive. And it eventually led to me being locked up. So let me take you to the day of my confinement. The night before, I had gone to a rave in New Orleans. I believe we were seeing Blau, if you know who that is. He's a pretty famous DJ. Anyways, not the point. I had gone to that rave with my fake ID, of course. I always get so many questions in the comments. Oh, how did you go to all these clubs and drink when you were only 17? I had a fake ID and I had people buy my drinks for me. It's just that easy. So I went to the rave and I spent the night at my friend's house who I went to the rave with. The next morning, so the rave happened on a Saturday, the next morning was a Sunday morning, and it happened to be Mother's Day. So of course I wake up, I slept a little bit past my alarm, and I had missed a few phone calls from my dad because I was supposed to be back at my house so that we could all go to church that morning. If y'all know me and my channel, y'all know I'm not a Christian gal. I'm a transgender atheist. So my dad tried to call me. I finally called him when I woke up and I'm like, hey, sorry, I slept in. I'll be to the house as soon as possible so that way we can leave. He's like, fine, whatever, like you overslept, whatever. So I get home and just so happens on my way back to my parents' house, I got my first ever speeding ticket. That just added to the fuel of the fire. So I get home, I tell my parents, hey, I just got a speeding ticket. They were pissed about it, like pissed as fuck about it. We're about to leave for church and I remember this very distinctly. My dad looked at his phone and then read a message and then looked at me and was like, so where did you go last night? And in my little body, I'm just like, holy fuck, does he know? Like, should I tell the truth? Should I lie? Like, he's obviously asking me like he already knows. So I basically told him I was at Kayla's house because that's who I said that I was going to see. They didn't know I was going to a rave. They didn't know I was going to spend the night with my coworker. They thought I was spending the night with Kayla, who was my best friend in high school. So I tell him that I was at Kayla's house. He was like, no, you weren't. And he looks at his phone and he's like, you know who just texted me? Kayla. And I'm thinking to myself, if this bitch ratted me out, I'm gonna fucking lose it. Apparently, when I didn't answer the calls from my dad, he texted Kayla and asked her, hey, can you wake up Victoria? She's late, she needs to come to church with us. To which Kayla responded, Victoria is not at my house. That's a fake friend. That's a fake friend right there. I probably should have told her that I was going and using her as a cover up, but she was that kind of friend. Like I was very loose, very party, very want to, you know, do drugs and drink. She was more like school focused, very just like chill at home, not into any kind of substances, which I can't blame her for it. I'm not saying that she's a bad person for it. I'm just saying that we were very different and I couldn't have used her as an alibi. She would have been like, she would have given me a lecture like, no, 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 you shouldn't be snorting coke in New Orleans. But that's what I wanted to do. So we go to church. My dad has confiscated my phone and my mom drove to church. So he's sitting in the front seat reading, going through my messages, going through my pictures. And at this point, I know it's over. I know my life is over because I have pictures of me doing coke, drinking, smoking, text messages, talking about all kind of different shit, pills, fucking the whole nine. And the whole time I'm just sitting in this church service and the pastor's talking about, oh, we need to be more positive. We need to love. We need to spread happiness. And the whole time I'm looking at my parents like, y'all should spread a lot of love right now because I know that y'all are really mad and really upset, but y'all should listen to what he's saying. I don't believe in God, but you should. It didn't work. We got home and my dad basically confronted me. We had a whole yelling and crying match. He's like, is this what you're doing? I said, yeah. I couldn't lie at this point because all of the evidence was on my Galaxy. I would have like picked up my phone and like showed the phone for like special effects, but I'm a shitty YouTuber and I film on the front facing camera of my phone. So if I were to pick it up, it wouldn't work. So my mom was a nurse back in her heyday, and she's friends with a lot of people who work at like rehab facilities and stuff like that. So she's like, well, lucky for you, I have a friend who has a very good connect at this rehab facility for young, corrupt teens. And I'm like, well, that's great, but I'm not fucking going. I just started my transition. I don't want to be in public, much less on a fucking ranch filled with 15 to 17-year-olds who are all addicted to fucking heroin. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here trying to have a good time and enjoy life, doing everything that a normal 17-year-old does. My parents are yelling. My sister is like, what the fuck is going on? I'm just looking at her like, please don't hate me. Like, I'm not a bad sister. Like, your girl just wanted to turn up a little bit. My parents decide that they're going to send me to rehab. Me, Victoria Wiggins, in rehab. Let me just clarify, and I'll touch on this more later. I was not a drug addict. I did not need to go to a rehabilitation facility. I wasn't withdrawing from anything. I wasn't addicted to anything. I was smoking a little weed, popping some mollies on the weekend at the club, doing a little coke on Saturday night, going to church Sunday morning, just being a normal kid. And I got sent to rehab, a place for addicts, people who are physically and mentally dependent on illegal substances. Not me. That's not me. My dad takes me to rehab. So my dad and I get in the car. My mom and my sister stay home. They're crying. They're like, we love you, but you need help. This is what you deserve. We're gonna get you better. We're gonna get you back on your feet. I'm like, I'm not even fucking drunk or high. Like, I'm literally sober. I got a speeding ticket and I did some fucking drugs last night. Like, it's fine. It's really not fine when your kid's out lying to you and doing drugs. But I'm saying I didn't need to go to fucking rehab. I needed to be grounded for like a month and have all my shit taken away. Didn't need to go to rehab. Still bitter. We get to the facility. It's in the middle of nowhere. And I pull up. It's kind of cute though. On the way, I'm thinking, I'm like, well, I see all these commercials on TV for like these rehab facilities, and it's like on an island. There's a beach, very much summer vibes, 2017, loving it. Excuse me, I'm disgusting. But this is just not what that was. This was more of a great value version of what I've seen on TV. On the way there, I was thinking, I was like, this is gonna be fun. Like, I'm sure I'm gonna meet like a bunch of like troubled kids, and we're all just gonna be like, I hate my parents, they ruined my fucking life. And we're all just gonna like kiki and have a good time. No. So basically you go, you check in, and I'm sitting with my dad and we're filling out all this paperwork, and there's a nurse and she's asking me a bunch of questions. And obviously she could tell that I was like presenting or like trying to present female and was just taking hormones. Like, she got a list of all the medications I was on. So she basically said, before we do all this paperwork, I don't want to waste your time. The rehab facility is separated into one side boys and one side girls. And I know your situation, but we're not gonna be able to let you stay with the girls. And I look at my dad and I'm just like, no. Like, please don't make me do this. Like, please rethink everything that you've ever thought, and don't put me in a group of drug addicted men. And my dad was like, nope, you're going. So basically I get all signed in. My dad tells me goodbye. He's like crying, I'm crying. I'm like, I don't want to fucking be here, but like, you're sending me, like, I just want to make it clear, like, you're doing this to me, like, really don't need to go to rehab, not addicted to anything. She's asking me all these questions, like, so what's your like drug of choice? And I'm like, I don't have one. Like, I've been trying everything. They're not even that good and they're really expensive. She strips me down. We have a little strip search. I'm butt ass naked in front of this lady, and she makes me squat and cough. Like, I guess she thought I had something up my ass. And the only thing I had up my ass was the load that guy shot in me the night before. So I'm pretty sure when I squatted, it like kind of leaked out. So embarrassing. Sorry, it's not drugs, it's just cum. I'm checked in. I'm officially a member of the rehab group. I got my little name tag, and she's like, all right, all of the kids are in the rec room doing an AA meeting. So you just go ahead and go in and just jump right in. And I'm like, I'm literally about to go to an AA meeting. Like, yesterday, I was laying in my bed eating hot Cheetos and watching Pornhub. And now I'm going to an AA meeting for addicts. The only thing I'm addicted to is cock and cigarettes. So everyone's of course staring at me. They don't know what I am. Is it a boy? Is it a girl? I'm like, no, I'm your worst fucking nightmare. So obviously everyone wants to get to know me. I didn't talk for like the first week because I was in a group of men, and we all know I'm attracted to men, and I'm living with them in this little like condo, spending all my time during the day with them. They would have like very rare events where like the girls and the guys would get together and we would do like a group meeting. But basically you just stayed in this condo with like all these guys. The girls were like across the fucking way, and you would do all these activities like therapy, journaling, just getting your feelings out, overcoming your addiction. But I didn't have one, so I was so fucking bored. I didn't talk the whole time. They were making me so nervous. And like, drug addicts are hot. Like, guys who love drugs are always so hot. So I'm just sitting there in the AA meeting, like, everyone's telling their stories, and I'm just like, God, I haven't had dick in like a week. Who wants to come to my room? So about a week later, there was a family visitation day. I believe there was a family visitation every month, and your family could basically come up to the ranch and talk to you, check in, see how you're doing. Everyone had like a designated counselor as well. So your parents could like talk to your counselor, get like any information that they needed, and see how you're progressing. And I remember my counselor met with my parents on family day, and she was like, I think think you guys made a mistake. Like, she's not addicted to any, like, she's actually fine. Like, you made it seem like she was fucking on her last limb trying to find any kind of needle on the floor to shoot herself up, but she's actually just fine. And my mom's like, no, like crying in the room, like, you betrayed us, this is your fault, this is what you're getting, and you're gonna stay here until you're better. And I'm like, I don't know what you want to happen. Like, honestly, I'm about to just suck a lot of dick in here because these guys are so horny. They've all been pent up over here for 2 months. They're all jacking each other off in the gym, and they see me, someone who looks even remotely feminine, and they're like, we want it. Biggest upset of this whole experience was shaving. I hate having facial hair. What girl likes having facial hair? I can't think of one. We're only allowed to shave once a week because we weren't allowed to have razor blades because self-harm. And people would like try to take the razor blades and like try to kill like the nurses or like the camp leaders. So there was a very strict rule about that. And I tried to like sympathize with them and be like, look, like, I'm a tranny stuck in a group of men, and like, I know you think I'm gonna try to kill you with this razor, but you're supervising me, like, please just let me get this fucking wildebeest off of my face. And I remember this one nurse, she was like, nope, you have to shave once a week like the rest of the boys. And I'm like, but I'm not a boy, bitch. Look at my profile, look at my medication list. I'm on the same medicine, the same estrogen that you take because you're going through menopause. You should be thanking me trying to get some free pills out of my ass. I remember another time we had like a party day. So basically they put out this like raggedy old tarp that they got out of one of the barns, covered it in dish soap, got it really wet, and told everyone to take off their shirts. We're going on a slip and slide. So I'm just like sitting, you know, on the hill right above the slip and slide, just, you know, laid back, tanning, just soaking up the rays, thinking about all the drugs I'm gonna do once I get out. And all these guys are just glistening, their shirts are off, their fucking dicks, you can just see them flying through their swim trunks every time they take a fucking step. It was pure torture. You guys are gonna put me with the guys when you know that this is gonna destroy me. That day, I remember I told all the guys, I was like, I hooked up with someone. Keep in mind, I didn't hook up with anyone this whole time. I was too scared. I was really shy and, you know, very self-conscious of my fat, decaying body. So I told them, I was like, yeah, I hooked up with one of the guys. Bet you can't guess who it is. So they're all like conspiring together, like, oh my God, who do you think like fucked her? Like, who's like gay out here? Like, could it be him? No, it's gotta be him. Like, no, it's definitely him. And I'm just sitting there enjoying the attention. You know, I'm a YouTuber, so I love attention. That's why I fucking do this. It's not for the money. It's not to help people. It's for the likes and the comments. So I'm sitting there just soaking it all in. I'm like, oh God, keep talking about me. I'm getting wet just thinking about it. There was another family day, but it was like a family therapy day where basically all of the kids like at the ranch sat in this huge circle, and the parents of like a specific person would sit in the middle with their kid, and everyone would be sitting around, and they would tell the whole story about how you ended up here and what you did and how disappointed they are in you and how much they wish that you were never born and that they wish you never transitioned because they miss their son, and how you were a mistake and you were conceived accidentally on a honeymoon in Las Vegas and you weren't even meant to exist. All the things that I just love to hear. Really makes me feel like I have a purpose. I felt really bad that I had like, you know, ventured out and like done things that I wasn't supposed to do. But let's be real, I didn't need to be there. We didn't need any of this to happen. My parents dropped so many of thousands of dollars to put me into that rehab facility when really all I was doing was raiding the pantry in the middle of the night to get all the snacks. They weren't even good snacks. It was just like, you know, great value little chips and like little donuts, but I was so hungry, so emotional, I just needed to eat it all. I even ate a fucking chili dog, for crying out loud. I fucking hate chili and dogs. So I'm sitting in the circle with them and I'm just like, kind of feeling like I need to make some shit up. Like I'm fucking stuck here. They're obviously not gonna let me leave. So let me at least try to milk it. I was like, you guys, like, I'm so sorry. Just trying to get my way out. Like, I am so sorry. Like, I did so many bad things, and I know that I disrespected you, and I know that I'm an addict, but like I really have changed, and like I really just would love to come home. By the end of the whole thing, like all the boys loved me. Like I made such good friendships with them. Like 3 of them hit me up on Instagram after I got out, and then they saw my transition photos and they were trying to fuck. I was like, why didn't you tell me while I was there? We could have popped something off. But you know, guys, they're so shy. Now this is where the story gets like not funny and actually kind of serious. I got home and I went into the worst depression that I've ever been in. I've been in a lot of depressions. I have depression, I go through it, and for me it comes in episodes, and this was by far the most draining, the most dark, the most horrible one. Mind you, I'm at home, I don't have a phone, I don't have a computer, I have no way to contact the outside world. I'm also in that awkward stage of transition at this time where I don't look like a boy, I don't look like a girl, I look just like someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. I look ugly. So I don't even want to leave the house to do anything. I'm stuck in my room all day. I'm trying to finish high school. I'm trying to get a job, get myself out there. And for about 9 months, you guys, I faced like the deepest shit that I've ever felt. I felt like I left that experience feeling like I did something wrong, like genuinely was like brainwashed into thinking that I had a fucking addiction problem. And when you're stuck in a place for a month and a half, like that really fucks with you. You don't have anything to do, and you're surrounded by addicts, and you're surrounded by counselors and authority figures who are only talking about addiction. So soaking all of that in and just being surrounded by it almost 24/7, it makes you fucking think that you have an issue. So on top of everything that was going on in my life, I'm dealing with that. So every video that I do kind of has a lesson at the end, and this one definitely does. Of course, I was mad at my parents for sending me there. Do I think I should have gone? No. But at the end of the day, I disobeyed them and they did what they thought was right. They still are upset about it because I know it was really expensive and it caused like a big ordeal in our family, but I don't think I should have gone. And they know that, they know that's how I feel, but we can't change it. I can't come back and like redo it all over again. As far as the depression goes, whenever I get sad now, whenever I'm super depressed now, I think back to that and I'm like, you got through that. You can get through anything. So that is the story about the time that I went to rehab. Mom and Dad, if you're watching this, love you so much. I know you guys watch my videos. Again, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of November's new and exciting videos. We're gonna have so much fun. Follow me on all my social media. That's in the description. Check me out. We have so much fun on Snapchat and Instagram. We cut the fuck up, so please come join us. We're always looking to have a good time. I love you guys so, so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.